So, folks, we have to talk about Ben Shapiro. That's a lie. We don't have to talk about Ben Shapiro anymore. Like, the Daily Wire is in really big trouble, guys. But, like, still kind of funny to point and laugh as it's in its death throes, you know? So we're doing this just for kicks and giggles. Sake Tanuki, thank you for the 5 tier 1 subs. What is this?
I'm looking for something that says, Dad likes leather.
Something that says, Leather Daddy?
Oh, is there such a thing?
A perfect segue into Ben Shapiro. This was keyed up with him making this face directly at me while I played that clip. And I feel very strange about that.
The right is experiencing right now is because I would like to see conservatism win. I want to beat the Democrats in elections more than anything, but it's especially important right now because the Democrats have lost their minds. For the few sane people that are still in the Democratic Party, they seem to be refusing to do or say anything about that. And we have an insane take for you today, this time from the insufferable wine mom, podcaster, socialist revolutionary, Jennifer Welch.
Fuck yeah. I love Jenny. Jenny's my girl. I love her because she would tell Ben Shapiro to fuck right the way off to the sun. I love her so much.
The mainstream Democrats are embracing the commies. They've just been eaten by the commies.
Hell yeah.
There was a House Democratic resolution.
By the way, you can help the Democrats be eaten even more by commies. You could even say you could help the Democrats be eaten out by joining your local Dems, joining your local DSA, and getting involved in your local political system. Because, folks, when you do, you can make a huge difference. And for every single one of you that gets involved with your local Dems and DSA, another tier leaks out of Ben Shapiro. You know, a man who's just, well, he's not an attractive crier.
No, she's going to prosecute the president of the...
I can't believe that's a real sound clip.
Actually promoted by Thomas Massie, the bewilderingly insane Republican who's been ousted in a primary, to defund all military aid to Israel. It was voted for by one Republican. And that's not a sentiment that has a lot of traffic inside the Republican Party. A majority of Democrats in the House who voted in favor of defunding all military aid to Israel, 103 of them.
God, he's so mad about this. He's so mad because he knows if this gets enough traction in the Democratic Party, it's going to start getting traction in the Republican Party, and he's going to be in big trouble.
Ben Shapiro leaking.
That's fair, but don't worry. He would never, ever put up with something being wet.
Wet ass P word. P word is female genitalia, because immorality on both the foreign and domestic front had become a litmus test for radical Democrats. And the normie Democrats, the people who are supposed to be moderate, are just accepting this. They're swallowing it whole because they too are trying to.
Swallowing it whole, you say?
No, she's going to prosecute the president of the...
Oh, okay. Oh, God.
Look for love in all the wrong places. Andy Bashir will be the first person eaten by the DSA. Here he was with Katie Couric saying that the Democratic Socialists of America, these communists, the big problem with that,
You know what's really funny? It's really hard to bill the DSA as communist when they're literally called the Democratic Socialists of America, not the Democratic Communists of America. There are explicitly communist-oriented political groups in America. None of them are large enough of note, which is why he's just calling... Again, the playbook from the Republicans is just call anything that is liberal or kind of left, and whatever you don't like at the moment, call it communist. Doesn't really matter what they're advocating for. Just call them commies. It's been the same playbook gathering dust since the 1980s.
There's really nothing wrong with them. They're just
honestly 1960s.
Too passionate. They're just too passionate.
Many who are running under the Democratic Socialist brand or the Progressive brand
are making their case with just extreme passion. They are convincing voters that they will work as hard as they can, and that's what voters are asking for right now.
They just want the extreme passion of the communists. John Fetterman, again, the last sane Democrat.
Well, also, what they want is the passion of working class people. And it just so happens that DSA represents a lot of working class people.
He said yesterday,
Is that Bashir? Yeah, that's Andy Bashir.
why exactly are you embracing the commies? Like, what is your thing here?
For me, what you're afraid of is defined by what you won't criticize or won't call out. And I'm always going to call out people that they're not Democrats. In fact, some of them aren't even socialists. They've actually self-identified as communists. You know, I'm not sure why there's...
This has been true the entire time. Like, the entire time. There have been people calling themselves communists and voting in the Democratic Party the entire time. Doesn't make the Democratic Party the Communist Party. Just means it's the farthest left organized large-scale party in the country.
There's more outrage within the party, and they will refuse to acknowledge or say, well, I haven't been paying
What's your opinion on Ben Shapiro? Oh, he's very funny.
attention to that race so much for all those.
I mean, again, he is right
You know, not like intentionally, but he is very funny.
about this. The fact that Democrats continue to make room for the psychos, they will be embracing every psychotic position they possibly can by the end of this election cycle. And certainly going into 2028. If you're perceived as too moderate, you got nothing. You got nothing. You're going to get outflanked and outflanked dramatically.
Yeah, I mean, the true war for the future of America is being waged within the Democratic Party right now. It's between the left progressive flank and the establishment centrist, more conservative flank. And like, again, I'm being serious. Never a better time to get organized within the Democratic Party than right now. We can maximize leverage. We can shape the future of the party. We can make new priorities take root. We can foster up better and better ones. Like, we got this. We can do this. We just need to get involved. So, folks, join your local Dems, join your local DSA, join our Discord, reach out to GamerG for help with DSA, reach out to Dragonfly for help joining your local Dems. We got this. Let's do it. Make Ben Shapiro sad.
They just keep going crazier and crazier. Again, many of the faces in their beloved media ecosystem seem more insane every day. So Jennifer Welch, again, I will never understand how a person like Jennifer Welch has an audience, mainly because she's awful on camera. Truly awful.
Dog. Ben Shapiro, British interview.
Ben Shapiro, you're followed by millions of people online and on social media. You're one of the biggest names in American conservatism. What is it you think you're tapping into?
Well, I think that there are a couple of things. One, there is actually a hunger for different ideas. The monolithic nature of the United States media is pretty evident in terms of its politics. People tend to agree on essentially the liberal point of view and increasingly a radical leftist point of view in the media. And obviously I speak in response to that. At the same time, I try to provide an honest take on the issues of the day, and that means that I am not beholden to the Republican Party, for example. It means that I am going to speak out whenever I think that a principle is being violated, just no matter who is doing the violation.
He's doing so good. Let's skip ahead towards the end of the interview. Let's go.
It seems to me that simply going through and finding lone things that sound bad out of context and then hitting people with them is a way for you to make a quick buck on BBC off the fact that I'm popular and no one has ever heard of you.
There are not many bucks to be made on the BBC, unlike American broadcasting, Mr. Shapiro. The point I'm trying to make is that your words are hardly designed to produce the consensus and understanding that the book seems to want to produce. That's my point, that you write about, Judeo-Christian culture and so on, but so much of what you've said in the past would seem to turn its back on Judeo-Christian culture.
You're lecturing me on Judeo-Christian culture after you call the pro-life position barbaric?
I just asked you a question.
And I asked you a question. You failed to answer a single one of mine. Frankly, I find this whole thing a waste of time. If you want to read the book and critique the book, why don't you read and critique the book? If you want to critique me, you can you think whatever you want of me.
Why don't you just try and answer the questions?
I don't frankly give a damn what you think of me since I've never heard of you.
And I've never heard of you until I briefed myself for this. But that's not the issue. You have a new book out, and it's an interesting book. But my point is, your book claims that
it'd be
society...
nice if you would quote it from time to time.
Your book is... Well, actually, I've done so several times, and I'm about to do so again, if you would let me just finish the question. Your book claims that society is turning its back on Judeo-Christian values.
Yeah,
what are those values? What are the values it's turning its back on?
I'm not inclined to continue an interview with a person as badly motivated as you as an interviewer. So I think we're done here. I appreciate your time, sir.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for your time and for showing that anger is not part of American political discourse. Now, Mr. Shapiro, we'll say good.
Just for additional context, for those of you who are unfamiliar, Andrew Neil is famously a very conservative British journalist. The fact that Ben Shapiro's just like Ben Shapiro's making an enemy here where there really wouldn't normally be one. He has no high ground.
Conservatives are so performative.
Ben has no high ground when it comes to talking about who is and is not awful on camera. He just rage quit an interview with with Andrew Neil. And like, Andrew Neil is about as conservative as you can get. Like, dude literally doesn't think climate change is a thing. You know? He politely called Ben an angry child. Yeah. This interview is very famous. It's from about 7 years ago. But again, Ben hasn't really matured since then. So, I mean, he did grow a beard. So I guess he matured approximately 1 5 o'clock shadow worth.
Offline. I speak as someone who's not particularly amazing on camera. Jennifer Welch makes me look like Laurence Olivier. My goodness. Jennifer Welch was on her show ripping into homeschooling. Like this is where the Democratic Party is going, attacking the.
Yeah, and MAGA conservatives that want to dismantle the Department of Education and regularly attack public schooling. So,
homeschoolers.
They're incapable of critically thinking. They're incapable of deduction skills. And what pisses me off about this the most is how many parents project a script onto their kids. I'm a dumbass, so therefore I'm going to make sure you're a dumbass. I'm a an idiot. I made D's, as our caller said, Ellie. She, the dumbest people she knew in college were homeschooling their kids. And so this is trickle down stupidity. This is MAGA on steroids. This is Maha. This is tradwife. This is unvaxxed and unjacked and all that shit.
Now, before Ben says anything, I am just going to provide like a citation here. Specifically, if you're wondering, like, wait a minute, you mean homeschooling networks might engage in spreading misinformation and disinformation? Yeah. The number one reason people are homeschooled in America is because parents decide that they think that their kid needs, like, good old-fashioned religious upbringing and education. And they build an entire curriculum effectively around like creationism and like a bunch of anti-science bullshit in order to make sure that their child grows up being taught, creationism, young earth creationism. And like dinosaurs are actually a trick from Satan to like make you think the earth is old. Like that kind of shit. Like that, like I'm not, that sounds like I'm making a joke. I'm not making a joke. Right? And not only that, it's used to propagandize to children who don't know any better. Now, what do I mean by this? Well, let's just take a quick look here over at this article from a couple years ago. Outrage over alleged Nazi homeschooling group in Ohio. Telegram channel reportedly distributed lesson plans which included writing exercises based on Hitler quotes. A couple calling themselves Mr. and Mrs. Saxon established the Dissident Homeschool channel on Telegram in 2021, according to reporting by Anonymous Comrades Collective, an anti-fascist research group verified by HuffPost and Vice.
My dad doesn't believe in evolution. Guess where he on the political spectrum?
Hey, guess what? My dad doesn't believe in evolution either, and guess where he is on the political spectrum? The channel, which has almost 25,000 subscribers. That's 2000. That's 2000. Sorry, did I say 25? 2,500 subscribers. That's 2,500 parents teaching their kids explicitly neo-Nazi bullshit.
Anytime anyone says anything about homeschooling or parents' rights, they are just demanding the right to indoctrinate their children.
I mean, yeah, 100%. It's awful shit, you know? The channel has almost 2,500 subscribers, distributes ready-made lesson plans. HuffPost reported, including history lessons which praised the Confederate General Robert E. Lee as a grand role model for young white men, denigrate Martin Luther King Jr. as the antithesis of our civilization and our people. Like, this is awful. This is awful. And when you look at a lot of homeschooling materials, there are some people who pull their kids out of school to homeschool for valid reasons. But oftentimes it is done specifically at the expense of children. Like, it is done to deny children actual knowledge about the world and how it works. And, like, this isn't an uncommon thing, unfortunately. But that would be why Jennifer Welch is like, well, it teaches, like, you know, white supremacy and Maha shit. Because it does. When you're getting your health education from someone who doesn't know shit about health, except that, you know, that maybe Jesus doesn't like health, doesn't like blood transfusions. Yeah, you're not getting good health education. you're not getting quality Make America health. You're not getting quality health education, but you are getting Maha education. There we go.
These people, these folks. First of all, homeschoolers generally outperform public school students. Second of all, this bizarre hatred for parents schooling their own children and extraordinary faith in the public school system, which is failing all over the country in a wide variety of areas, is pretty astonishing. But don't worry, the hatred doesn't stop there. Welch has a co-host. That co-host's name is Angie Sullivan, who says she does not trust parents who want to be with their children.
You would not believe how many people in Bible study homeschool their kids. And you just think, I worry about that. And then you see those witness booklets or whatever they're called that the Duggars use, and they're like top out at 8th grade. I mean, I just think homeschooling is a bad idea from soup to nuts. I don't care if you're a nuclear physicist. I think it's just weird as that you want your kids around you all day, every day, and all night. And just the socialization. For me personally, it was that I would have gotten up on my hands and knees and strapped them to my back and crawled to get them to school every day, just to get them where I wasn't. So I don't trust somebody that wants to be with their kids 24/7. I think a lot of dumb people do it because it's just easier.
Welch
and that's a concern.
Unschooling Bensel.
Indeed, Saki Tanuki. Thank you for the 5 tier 1 subs. Cutter Joe, thank you for the 2 tier 1 subs, and you sent this.
And the homosexuals. Wait. And on the 3rd day, God created the Remington bolt-action rifle so that man could fight the dinosaurs. And the homosexuals. And
it's true, the homosexuals were once a roving threat on par with dinosaurs. It's true. God. Amen. But the thing is, she's not wrong about the fact that this is extraordinarily prevalent in Bible studies. In like adult Bible study groups, parents will oftentimes create a kind of cycle, like a cycle of different parents come in and teach on different days. And like, there are different systems that do this. It's not uncommon, but basically it creates an informalized school system, but just for and built around the ideological and religious beliefs of that particular Bible study group, you know? And like, that's no good. That's not great. I also think that there is, obviously something to the idea that a lot of the parents who are able to do homeschooling are able to do it from a position of privilege, from a position of like economic privilege, where one of the parents is able to stay home with the kids full time and teach the kids as their job. And so when we're talking about this, it's usually far more affluent families doing this. They have more resources to spend on educating their child. And the reason, by the way, homeschoolers tend to do well on standardized tests is because parents teach to the test.
It's basically the ultimate echo chamber at the most impressionable age, a terrible combo if ever there was one.
Yeah. It often results in some amount of like social, blunting of social skills. So often, like a lot of folks who were homeschooled wind up bumping up against unfamiliar social situations and having trouble like integrating with wider society when they enter like the workforce or go off to university. And it's not insurmountable. Obviously, like I've known a lot of homeschool kids because, again, my background is in exactly this kind of fundamentalist religion that would be willing to do that. But the kids that I knew growing up who were homeschooled, they were raised up like their biology lessons were literally on like videos. They had like a videotape series for creationist media that they would play and they'd watch, and it'd be basically videos talking about how, oh, well, the eye is too intricate to have been evolved. The eyeball is too complicated for evolution to have made it. It must have been God. Like entire classes on things like that. And so in a lot of ways, when you're teaching to standardized testing, you can get good results on tests, but it doesn't necessarily equate to like a well-rounded education. And I don't think it's great. I don't think it's good. I think that we should have better public education. In high school, I had two different friends who were fresh out of homeschool that didn't know what a high five or a fist bump was. Both were very religious. Yeah. You know what's more sad? Your relationship with your dad? No, my relationship with my dad is, fraught, but I wouldn't describe it as particularly sad. His relationship with himself, now that's sad. But I'm at peace with my relationship with him.
Homeschooling is absolutely 100% not easier at all. Okay, this lady is crazy. This is a crazy thing to say. First of all, you don't trust parents.
Can you put your number in chat? Absolutely. It is 1-800 420 6969. If you call that, I will definitely pick up.
To want to be with their kids? What is wrong with you? Seriously, what is wrong with you? Do adults need a break from their kids sometimes? Sure. Do good parents want to be with their kids a lot? Absolutely. Folks, there's nothing more important.
Wait, her name's Angie from the, I'm wondering how many kids she has. Okay. So she has 3 kids? Yeah, she has 3 kids. I do think that when we're talking about people with multiple children, and especially if you're like a stay-at-home mom or something like that might very much, like I don't know what her history is, but like having children is a huge commitment. It's a huge commitment. And if you're a stay-at-home mom or a stay-at-home dad taking care of 3 children, like that's a lot. And yeah, you're going to be desperate for a break. And different people are going to have different thresholds for spending time with 3 children as a stay-at-home mom, you know? Also, I see people asking about Ben Shapiro's children. Apparently he has 5 children. I do have to wonder how on earth he has enough time to be able to take care of those kids when his wife is a doctor and like he's managing the Daily Wire. Like that's a lot. That's like, is he spending too, like I think maybe he might have trouble imagining spending too much time with his kids because he doesn't get as much time with his kids. You think they raise their kids? Well, I'm kind of getting at that point, yeah.
On this planet than defending children, and that includes children who are unborn. The fact is,
oh snap! He was just transitioning into He's just transitioning into an ad read. Hell yeah. All right, cool.
And I'm confused. You don't trust somebody who wants to be with their kids. You just trust somebody who wants to be with other people's kids. That's your pitch. My goodness. And the Democrats will embrace all this sort of stuff. They do. So when I say that.
Wait, Ben, I'm sorry. Ben Shapiro, literally there's a post of him saying, "You're right. My doctor wife is totally a stay-at-home mom." So
didn't Bensel talk about how he didn't want to be around his kids?
That sounds right, but I have no idea. I haven't seen him say anything like that. But I do think that what we're talking about here, like, okay, so your wife isn't a stay-at-home mom. You're not a stay-at-home dad. I don't think. Like, I don't think this studio's in his office. So, like, who's taking care of Ben Shapiro's kids? Like, he's ragging on people who want to send their kids to, like, a school where they get taught by a teacher or something. But, like, clearly he's doing that with his own children.
I want the Democrats to lose. It's because I want them to lose. But I don't just want them to lose in name. I want them to...
They have a nanny, maybe? Yeah, but then, like, his entire argument against public school kind of falls apart there.
Lose in policy. I don't want any of the policies that the Democrats are pushing. I don't want a weak foreign policy. And I don't want a hatred of free market economics that is being propped up by a bunch of lies about how income inequality damn all of us to the loss of the American dream and all this slop.
Yeah, okay, but if you don't want that, you should send your kids to public school, because public school doesn't teach communism as a good thing. I've been through public school. I went to, like, several different economics courses in public school and at university, and I can tell you, none of those classes taught me about socialism or communism as anything that was good. And that was, bad. It was bad of them to omit the arguments for socialism and communism.
I'm not interested in a bunch of conspiracy theorizing about how the American dream is dead and you can't get ahead, and therefore all the meritocracy...
I mean, statistically, most people can't get ahead. Statistically, meritocracy doesn't exist.
Itself must be ground under... I don't want that. I don't want it from Democrats. I don't want it from Republicans.
Then you should work to make, like, the world a better place instead of a bad place.
And listen, it may be because the world's imperfect, that we have a bunch of imperfect choices in the future in presidential... Sure. I mean, people very rarely get what they want in politics. But that doesn't mean that we shouldn't call it out when we see it, because it is both bad strategy and bad principle. What an amazing video you just watched, wasn't...
Man, dude's even talking like his channel's dying.
That amazing. Well, if you think so, head on over to dailywire.com/subscribe to watch the full show ad-free, or...
Wasn't that amazing? Well, head over to dailywire.com.
Ben can't get ahead because he can't get his wife's P word wet.
No, she's going to prosecute the president of the...
Sake Tanuki, thank you for the 5 tier 1 subs. And, yeah, so long story short, Ben Shapiro's just really big mad that a podcaster expressed that she doesn't trust homeschoolers, thinks that harms them. That was your big argument. Socialism is happening because wine moms on podcasts are talking about homeschooling in a negative way. Okay. All right. Anyway, get organized, folks, because it's making Ben Shapiro big mad. It's the only time he'll ever feel big. So join your local Dems, join your local DSA. If you need help, join our Discord. Reach out to Gamergy for help with your local DSA. Reach out to Dragonfly for help with your local Dems. And folks, got anything out of this, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, leave a comment. Let me know what you think about Ben. And also, check out ImogeneOlivia.com, gender euphoric lingerie designed from the ground up for trans femmes, tested with cis men, cis women, non-binary folks. It is comfortable, sexy, non-tucking lingerie. Check it out, ImogeneOlivia.com. We just got a full restock and a new color, so go check that out. Link down in the description. Let's keep on going.
Riverboat deck is going to town. All the viewers gather round. Twitch and YouTube is where she streams. All that content is bursting the seams. Politics, gaming, and plenty more. Her sense of fashion you'll adore. So grab your stuff and hop aboard. We're going straight to Jack's Discord.